What's up reefers, GB Reefer here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Waterbox 90.3 build. There's been lots of updates that's happened since the last video. There's been some improvements to the equipment, some additions to Livestock, so let's jump right in and see where we are now. There's been a couple of changes to the equipment in the sump. Let's have a little closer look at what we have in here now. I've picked up this little light box, light switch, which I use to illuminate the sump. It's quite dark in here when the lights are off and things like that, so just got this to little battery operated one just so I can have a little look at what's going on in here when I'm working down here. The second thing is I've swapped out the filter socks for filter cups. Now have filter cups with filter floss in them, and I've kept one of the silencers and removed one of them just so we've got that little bit extra filtration. I don't mind the trickling sound. Me and my wife quite like it. It's quite relaxing when we're sitting in front of it. It feels like we're actually by the sea, so we don't mind. But yeah, could have changed it. Again, I've got a bit bored of changing the filter socks so often and having to wash them, wait for them to dry, put them back in. I could order some more, could easily order some more, but I don't want to go through that, and I don't particularly want to wash them in the washing machine. So decided to swap them out for filter cups. I got these filter cups from Kraken Corals a while ago. I just hadn't swapped them over. Yeah, so they're working really well. It takes me a couple of days with the filter floss. I just put my hand in, take out the floss and throw it away, and that's nice and quick to get rid of any organics to stop it from dissolving in the tank. So they're working great. And finally, we've got the skimmer in. So skimmer's taken a little while to get bedded in. It's still going through its break-in phase. There's been a few modification issues I've had with it while setting it up. So I had to raise it from the bottom of the sump because it just wasn't working. It wasn't skimming right. So I read the instructions properly, as we do. I was so keen to get it in. And I've decided to use these sets of baskets. There's 3 on each side to raise it up higher than the bottom of the sump, and now it's working pretty well. It's skimming to the level that I would like it to. Just gonna let it break in for a few days. But again, there's still two issues that I have at the moment with it. The first is, if I come down here, you might be able to see that it gives off some micro bubbles out of the venturi, which then end up in the display. So I don't know if you've got any ideas how that can stop, or I could need to stop that. Please put them in the comments. I'll be very grateful. And the second thing that's also a bit of an issue is the sound. The skimmer is very, very loud. I know it's now it's supposed to be silent, but I haven't found that at the moment. I don't know, again, if it's due to it has to break in first, or the building of it, or when I built it I've misplaced it, or it's not tight enough somewhere. But yeah, please, if you've got any ideas how to change that, please let me know. I'm gonna move the microphone a bit closer and be quiet so you can hear how loud it is. Give me 1 second. So yeah, so quite loud. Not an issue when you're sitting in the other room, but when you're sitting in front of the aquarium trying to enjoy it, it's very loud. So yeah, if you've got any ideas how that can stop, how I can stop that and rectify that, please let me know and put it in the comments. So after having some patience and letting the skimmer settle in, it is now working absolutely fantastically. Look at the colour of the skimmate. It is pulling out of the tank all that fish poop. I'm really pleased. And the sound has subsided. I know I may be under the sump, you might hear some buzzing, but it's negligible compared to what it was before. I know in my previous update also, I complained about topping the tank off manually. I now have a new auto top off. It is the H2 Ocean from D&D, and it's really helped me keep the salinity really stable. So moving away from the equipment, let's now have a look at the livestock in the tank. There's been several new additions, including one removal. Unfortunately, the 6-line Wrasse became a bit of a bully, so he had to be removed from the tank. It took a while to get him out, so let's look at the process of how we removed him. So having failed miserably all day yesterday to try and catch the Wrasse with 2 nets, moving the rocks, etc., he's just too quick, he's just too fast, and he can dart in and out of tiny little crevices and stay in there for ages, and I can't get anywhere near him. As soon as I get near the tank, he's darted back into his rock. So we've gone for a new method. I borrowed this aquamedic fish trap that you can see in the right hand side from one of my fellow reefers who lives just up the road from me. Luckily he said, you know, reached out to me and said, I've got a trap if you want to borrow it. So I said, yes please, anything to try and get the wrasse out of the tank. So in the right hand corner you can see the trap. It's got a long tube in the middle where you put your food, and as you can see the live food is just held in the bottom of the trap. And there's a tiny fish line that goes from the trap to the door, and I can pull on the line and the door should shut. So just waiting for the wrasse to go in there, get a bit hungry, pop in, get some food, and once he's in, hopefully be able to trap him. I think this is going to take a few hours, but persistence is key, so let's see if we can get him out. So when I said I thought it would take a couple of hours, I was completely wrong. It took a couple of days. The wrasse is very, very smart. He would go in and go back out. He would go halfway in, halfway out, but eventually I managed to catch him. I removed him from the tank, took him to the local fish shop, and now he's going to find a new home. When returning the 6-line wrasse to the local fish shop, I took this opportunity to purchase some new cleanup crew to address the ugly stage that the tank is now going through. This is where the rock and the sand start to brown and algae starts to grow. To address this, I purchased some chocolate snails, some Nacerius snails and some serif snails, and I also purchased some blue and red lead hermits. So one of the first new additions is the silver spot tang. This tang looks similar to a coal tang, but is considerably more affordable. This tang spends all its day grazing on algae, so it's a fantastic utilitarian fish, as well as looking great with its grey body, blue fins and orange hue. To replace the 6-line wrasse, I picked up a yellow silver belly wrasse. It hid in the sand for a while at first, but came out surprisingly quickly, which is always a good sign. This wrasse spends its time cruising around the rockwork, and the pop of yellow in the tank is so eye-catching. The final new inhabitant is the royal grammer. Being shy in nature, it hid in its cave to start with, but fortunately quickly found its confidence and can regularly be seen swimming at the front of the tank. This is amazing, as its stunning purple and yellow coloration can be enjoyed by all. All the new fish have settled in really well and are eating a mixture of brine shrimp, mysis shrimp, pellet food, and I'm also supplementing nori for the blending and tang. Looking forward in terms of livestock, I'd love to add a peacock wrasse at some point, and ultimately a mandarin dragonet. In regards to adding corals to the system, there's been some progress, but this will be shared during the next episode, and I've also started a new tank build which I'll also look forward to sharing with you soon. So that brings us to the end of episode 3 of the Waterbox 90.3 mega update. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, happy reefing.